Morning update number whatever. It's been a while. So yesterday we went and raked the hay and baled the hay that we had down. We were almost done, and I had turned into, Josh was raking. He was a few windrows ahead of me, like 6 windrows ahead of me. And so I was catching up to him. So I know we were almost done. I didn't count the windrows, but I can't have very many. I could maybe make 10 more bales, 15 more bales, maybe, something like that. And I pull into a new windrow and bam! I was like, oh no. I get out and look. I thought I plugged the baler. Well, I didn't plug it. What had happened was there's a shear bolt that goes for your pickup. And that had broke. I don't know why it broke, other than it had been under some stress. We had picked up some logs, and I say logs because they were like this big. At one of the other places for these folks, they had some burn piles, and they thought they had it all cleaned up, and I hadn't seen them when we mowed or when we raked, so I thought we were home free. But there was a couple chunks, like 10-inch long chunks, that had been missed. And since I'm running the knives, if it can't fit through a 4-inch gap, it's gonna hit. So it hit those, and of course engaged the slip clutch and everything like that. So I think that shear bolt had been put under some stress, and so it finally just, when I turned into that windrow after making, I don't know, we'd made 115 bales or something like that on this place. So I think it was just, it'd been used enough that it just hit a little bit of stress and snap. So that's okay. It was basically dark anyways, so went ahead and was like, well, we'll just call it a night there, I guess. And I thought that I would, yes, it's time to feed you. I thought I was gonna have to go buy some new shear bolts. But I got to looking, the baler came with a little tube, and in that tube is a bunch of Allen wrenches, a bunch of wrenches, some chain links if you break a chain. What else is in there? There's a bag of bolts in there, and they appear to be the same exact size. There's nothing in the book that says anything about this little kit, but it's got extra shear bolts, so don't have to go get any of those today. So we'll get over there and get that put in, finish baling what we didn't get baled last night, and then hook up the mower and finish mowing over there so that we can rake and bale Thursday, Friday, depending on how it dries. Probably be Thursday as dry as it is. So that is the plan of attack at the moment, after we feed these hungry hippos who are squawking at me. Because they're like, hey, we've seen you walking around out here this morning. You have not fed us yet. So the meeting yesterday, I had talked about the meeting coming up, was with a potential banker. Unfortunately, the state of where we are, we have to work with a banker. And we have a bank that we have worked with for a really long time that we really like. And I'm absolutely going to go talk to them. But it's never a bad idea to put your feelers out and try to see what else is available for you. I've been talking to several people, and they're like, hey, this bank's good, this bank's good. So I'm gonna put my ideas out there to a couple banks and see what happens. Most of the time I usually end up just, I've looked at switching banks one other time. I don't like switching. I'm pretty loyal. If I find somebody I like working with, that's pretty much just who I figure out that's how I'm going to work with. So more than likely nothing's going to happen, but we'll see. And like I said, go meet with my bank at some point here. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got a big equip contract that we got signed, so need some money for that, to get that done, because we got to buy pipeline, spray, seed, fertilizer, fencing materials, and of course hiring contractors. So need some money for that. And of course, we always need money for these because these take a lot of money. And I don't know. Would love to think about expanding in the future. And if you don't start thinking about these things now, they can kind of just sneak up on you. You know, we do have mama cows, and this place is set up currently for feeders. We totally could run mama cows here the same way we're running the feeders, where we just feed them a lot. But there's not a lot of acreage here to run mama cows. You know, mama cows need a lot of land. In the state of Missouri, the average is 4 to 5 acres. You can get 3 to 4 pretty easy per, you know, cow calf. So, you know, if you want 200 head of cows, you're gonna need some land. So starting to think about goals to get there. You know, what do we need to be achieving now so that 5 years from now we have made that goal? Because otherwise you just end up in limbo, and you just keep going, and then all of a sudden you find yourself and you go, crap, you know, we need a bunch of land, we need it quick, or we have to sell cows, and we don't want that to happen. So we've been building our cow herd for several years now and like our cows, so we'd like to keep them. So that was the meeting yesterday. It was just like, hey, introducing ourselves to this bank and being like, here's what we're doing, here's what we want to do, what do you think you can do for us? Let's see what we do. And like I said, I will meet with our bank too, maybe a couple other banks that I've got on my radar, just to see. It's never made sense to me how one bank can do something and another bank can't. You know, but banks are just like any other business. Some have different resources for different things, just like car dealership or anything else. You know, everybody has their specialty. So that's what we got to find. Who wants to have me as their specialty? Other things coming up. Got to figure out when we're going to market these guys to sell. I'm really liking how our home raised stuff is growing and looking. Everyone's looking really good. We finally got all that pink eye under control. I think I've treated 1 new case of pink eye, and that was in our home raised ones. I did notice one in the bought calves the other day, and I thought it was new, but I really got to looking at it and I was like, that's been there a while. It just hasn't healed yet. So I kind of decided that one was just, some of their tags have faded, but I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's one I've already treated. So rather than stressing her when it was hot, getting her up, I left her in here, and now I don't see which one it was. She must be one of these ones in the back. But pink eye seems to be under control. The people I'm doing hay on, I talked to them last night. Their pink eye is just now starting, which is interesting because mine's kind of at the tail end. But everybody I've talked to has had terrible pink eye this year. All the rain that we had really made flies terrible. Normally, this would be the time you start getting pink eye because it's hot and dry, and the dust and the grass is all stemmy and tall and rank. So now is usually when you start getting pink eye. But this year has not been normal at all. This year I think it was just the wet, everything was wet and nasty and muddy and flies and all of that stuff. And that's why I think we had pink eye, something fierce. So finally got pink eye under control. These guys are growing good. These guys are growing really good. These guys need to go out on grass. I don't know. I hate combining them just for the fact that I'll have to resort them. But we may end up sorting our heifers that we're going to keep off and putting our feeder heifers with our feeder steers and putting them out. Like I said, I got several acres of grass back there, like 30 acres of grass back there that is really thick. It needs to be eaten. So I'm thinking maybe this weekend we will, or maybe not even this weekend, just whenever I get a spare moment caught up on hay, we'll combine those and kick them out on grass. They will pop out there on grass. They look great here eating hay. It's pretty good hay that we're feeding. But they always do better when you kick them out on pasture. So, got some pasture. They need to go out there. And then we will just hold the heifers here. And we're preg checking those other ones. I think I talked about that. Whenever we get them preg checked and moved, then those heifers that we are keeping, then we'll go out on pasture here. So, that's the plan at the moment. Make sure you're following along, see these daily updates, and yeah, follow along for all the fun stuff we do around here. We'll have some preg check videos coming up. And what else are we gonna be doing? Well, we're doing hay. We've already got a couple hay videos up. Need to get back to riding some horses. Got those 2 mares that are healing up. They're about ready to be put back under saddle. We got that 2-year-old over there that needs to be worked with here. You know, it'll start cooling off, and rodeo season will be coming to an end. Archery will be coming to an end. All these things that we do all summer long will be coming to an end, and our lives will slow down, right? Yeah, okay. Anyways, follow along.